today I'm burning up more brush. I've already burned, well, about twice as much brush as I'm burning today. I want you to see what I call the cleansing nature of fire. I'm going to have Lynn go and show you both of the places I already burned, and I'm going to have her show you the chicken yard. I've already got it completely cleaned up. I don't know if you saw footage of that before or not, or saw how big this pile was. I wanted to pan over there on the fire because I want you to notice something. There's no smoke coming out of that fire, or very damn little. Now, why is that? The reason why is that the fire is hot enough at this point that it's burning 99% of the smoke. So when I get done, I will have taken a huge pile of brush, and I will reduce it down to a tiny little spot of ash. We just had 4 inches of rain, which, if this one does the way the one in the other pasture did, I had a pile about twice that size in the other pasture. And when I got done, well, Lynn will show it to you. There's a hole about this big filled with ash. That will very quickly become some of the best pasture we have, because ash, and especially the coals, super good for the soil. But I'm kind of letting it die down a little bit now because it was so hot. And when it dies down a little bit and starts to cradle again, then I'll start throwing some more brush on. Even with 4 inches of rain and everything being saturated, I don't want to take any chances with a great big fire.
Right. I see you got everything that was on the other side of that shed.
Everything that was on the other side of the building.
And you started this pile.
I've got most of this.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm doing today.
Yay.
Thank you.
I will show them the other stuff then.
Okay.
So this is the chicken yard, and that's where she burned that huge pile that you saw in one of the videos earlier. Huge pile of brush. She took that ash and she put it over here in the back of the chicken house, back of this little chicken house, where the roots, you can see how badly exposed the roots are. They were even worse up there by those trees. She put the ash there, and then she dug a bunch of dirt out of the pond. It's a wet weather pond that catches some of the runoff from the pastures around here. Anyway, she took that, which is good, full of all good natural fertilizer stuff, and stuck it on top of the ash. And then she put some branches on top of that in the hopes that the chickens wouldn't scratch all of the dirt out, because they will. This is the little chicken house right here that was knocked over when the tree came down, and we picked it up, and she put a piece of feed bag on one side in order to keep the wind out, because we've got some young cockerels in there. We want to keep the blowing wind off of them. They're still young enough they don't need to be completely weathering. And this did take some damage. She put a couple new boards on here to strengthen the legs. This one didn't even get touched. It just sat here. Okay, so chicken yard, you see the big sawdust mess over there? That's where the logs were that she had to cut up, the pieces of the limb, the tree that came down. And the sawdust she's just leaving because it's great for the yard here. The chickens will scratch it up and really enjoy it. And over past this fence is the pasture where the barn used to be, the work site. And you can see there's actually a chicken, or was a chicken, a hen, right in there. She was taking an ash bath. That is literally all that is left of that massive pile of brush. That's where it burned the hottest, and it left a hole in the grass, but that's okay. It'll come back. It'll be beautiful. They're over here digging around, loving all the extra dirt. They love being over in this pasture. And all of the extra wood that was in here from the tree, she's now hauled off to the pile. I showed you that to you in the earlier clip. So all that's really left is what's in the dog yard. And I'll show that to you right now. And I shouldn't say all, because oh my Lord, you can probably see the mess as I approach it. This is the dog yard, and a lot of this was in the neighbor's yard, and our son helped us cut it up. Most of it will have to be split. Some of it won't, but to get to some of that and get it taken care of is going to be a project for another day, because this is the dog yard / junkyard, and she moved the important stuff out of the way before the tree fell. We can pretty much get to everything, and the dogs, there's enough room if we have to put them up, we can. But oh, this is such a mess. It will be amazing firewood, but wow, it's been expensive. Not to mention time consuming. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so I've just about got this mess cleaned up. I still have a lot of firewood to cut up.
I showed him that, yeah.
Okay, but I've just about got the bulk of it done. You can see it didn't really do much damage to my pasture because I didn't let it sit too long.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Yeah, Meyer came and helped me for 3 hours. Tanya and Mark came and helped me for 2 hours. And we paid a guy to cut that tree out of the tree and then just leave everything. It was a huge mess if you saw it. You can either look at shit like that and decide it's too much to tackle and you can just leave it there, or you can just keep working on it a little bit at a time. You clean this area, you fix these things, you clean that area, you fix these things. If nothing else, I learned that cleaning up tornado zones.
Yeah.
I've twice had friends that were caught in the path of tornadoes, and I saw that the worst mess that you've ever seen, if you just get a wheelbarrow, start moving shit a wheelbarrow at a time, you just take your chainsaw, cut one thing at a time, pretty soon the mess is gone. Takes time, it takes effort. The problem is most people look at shit like that and they throw up their hands and they just leave it. And then the next thing comes along, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. Pretty soon you can't walk through their place.
Right.
Okay? When things get broke, fix them. Even if you do a temporary slap a Band-Aid on it, fix them. Don't just leave them. Your house will never get dirty if when you make a mess, you clean it up. If when you go to put something away, you put it where it belongs. Same thing's true of your farm. I'm about to have this part of this mess cleaned up.
Yeah, that's the last of the fire. Few leaves to go in there, that's about it.
Yep.
That's
well,
amazing.
And I have to take the leaves off because the leaves, the goats, okay, I threw this over here so the goats could eat it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the goats have been eating on it ever since I threw it over here. Okay, but as they eat, they tend to climb on everything, and the leaves were pretty thick, and that was what was blocking the sunlight to the grass. So
Yeah.
I'm picking it up and I'm burning it. And you can see the leaves make all kinds of smoke.
Yep, they do.
That's because they don't burn hard enough to burn off their smoke.
No.
They smolder, they don't burn.
But boy, do they leave some beautiful ash.
Well, not as good as the wood. But,
I showed them the piles, the places over next door too.
yeah. Good. So I'm gonna have to restack this a couple of times and then it'll be done. Took me, what, 2 hours today?
Yeah, it's at less than an hour between the last time I filmed out here and this, but you had been out here over an hour when I came
Yeah.
out. So yeah, probably about 2 hours so far.
Yeah, so about 2 hours, huge mess, tiny little pile of ash.
Yep.
Anybody can do that.
Yep.
Unless you have a burn ordinance, which if you've had 4 inches of rain, you probably don't have a burn ordinance.
Yep. Awesome. Fire's amazing. Scary when not controlled, but amazing when controlled.
Here's the thing. Fire is one of those things. Fire can destroy every fucking thing. There's nothing that can stop a fire if it doesn't want to stop. So fire is a destroyer. Fire is also a great cleanser. There's no way. That would have taken months to rot. And guess what? Same amount of CO2.
That goat is over the fence eating that tree.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make that taller if
Yes.
I want stuff to grow there. Yeah.
Crazy.
So here's the thing. Same amount of CO2 whether it rots
Yes.
or you burn it up. In fact, if you saw when it was hot enough that it was burning off most of its smoke, it's actually making less CO2.
Yep, that's right. Okay, if I don't turn...
take pictures of my ass, God damn it!
Say goodbye.